Gemini, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Keeping in mind that these are general readings and may not resonate for everyone. So make sure to check out your other placements because you could have messages there as well. Okay, my friends, let's get started for Gemini. Sun, Moon, and Rising. Okay, we see the Two of Cups coming out for you, Gemini, in reverse. So for me, I want to pull another card to see where we're headed here. Okay, so when I see the Two of Cups in reverse, yes, definitely that could mean that there is something happening in a union. But I wanted to pull a second card to clarify where we were going with this, because the Two of Cups to me can also be a time where we're sort of really looking at ourselves. We're really coming into this sort of emotional understanding of the higher self and the outer self. And so that inner self that's always guiding us seems to be in a position right now where the outer self is not trusting. So there seems to be a bit of a dispute here between you and your higher self. So your higher self is guiding you in a direction and you're resisting it. You're moving away from where you're being guided to. This Eight of Wands moves very quickly. So there's something moving that's saying to you, go for it, go for it, go for it. And you're resisting that. And so sometimes this Eight of Wands can almost feel like the ground beneath your feet is shifting too fast and too much all at once, too many things shifting. And as a result, you're sort of having this moment of pause with yourself where you're not certain where you're off to next. You're not able to see with clarity what is happening around you right now. And so it's an emotional time where you're being guided towards something, but you're resisting it and you're fearing the outcome. And it's putting you in a place where you're almost feeling a sense of worry that is more than worry. Worry is putting it lightly. This is a time where you're very overwhelmed by everything shifting around you, and you're really needing to connect to yourself here. So this is very interesting for you, Gemini. Feeling very overwhelmed, feeling the fear, and needing to take a leap of faith and not feeling like you can. You're not feeling like you can trust whatever this new beginning is. You're not feeling like you can trust yourself or your surroundings or your thinking even is it's very focused on the part of the story where things go wrong, and you're focused on how it's not going to work out, and you're using your very powerful tools of imagination and visualization to scare yourself away from taking a chance. And yet you're being guided towards it with this Eight of Wands. You're being given that green light that says, go for it. Take a chance, take a leap of faith, trust that all will be well. And yet in your mind, you're thinking, there's no way this is going to work. And so you're really at odds with yourself right now. The Moon is on the bottom of the deck, and there's the Devil card coming out. Now we see the Queen. See, there was the Moon before, expressing that you're afraid of what you can't see emerging around you. And when I shuffled out the Devil card, now we see the Queen of Pentacles trying to guide you to be grounded, trying to guide you to be sort of like healing yourself away from this level of fear, to be grounded and focused so that you can break the chains of whatever you're at the mercy of right now. It really feels like you're moving into a place where you're trying to escape your emotions, and you're trying to just pretend that it's not happening. But there is no pretending when I see these cards. There is no pretending. This is a time of really facing things as they are and using your incredibly powerful tools of imagination, visualization, and feeling things, embodying those feelings to see those things come into your energy field. To shift your vibration away from fear and doubt, and sort of to break the chains that exist around you, where you're tied to these fears and you're tied to these limited perceptions of yourself that don't actually match with what's coming through your higher self. Your higher self is guiding you towards something, and you are not trusting it. You're not trusting it right now. Let's clarify some of these cards for you, Gemini, and see that Queen of Pentacles is the energy that you're being guided to embody so that you don't feel stuck and without direction. You want to focus that energy. Oh, we're seeing a lot of cards coming out for you here. So we see the Nine of Cups, the Hanged Man, the Magician, and the Star card. All coming out to say to you, focus on the outcome you desire. Don't spend your time and your energy and your focus on things that you fear. Focus on what you desire. Focus on being satisfied. What would that look like, taste like, smell like, feel like? Visualize it in your very powerful imagination as if it's happening now. It already exists. You just have to become a vibrational match for it. And so by surrendering to the ideas that are coming through and trusting that those aren't just coming through from nothing, that's your higher self guiding you. And you are the magician. You have the tools to call in whatever you're a vibrational match for. And right now, you're not a vibrational match for things you desire. Current situation shows me that you're going in the direction opposing your desires and satisfactions, and your focus is on how awful things are and how dissatisfied you are and how you're not going to be able to take that leap of faith, and how you're never going to break free from these patterns that don't serve you. That, to me, is what I'm seeing is your current focus. And your clarifying row is trying to guide you to recover from that perspective, to surrender and to focus on what it is that you do desire, and to use the same amount of power and energy that you're putting into focusing on what you fear, but using that incredibly powerful tool to focus on what you desire. What is healing for you? What is a new beginning for you? See the star here on the Fool. That is like you rising up from this moment of time where you felt completely tied to patterns of thinking, being, and doing that don't serve you. You're breaking free from that here in the Star card. And you're creating a new day for yourself, one that is prosperous, abundant, and satisfying. And there's the Knight of Wands giving you that signal to say, let's go. Let's do this confidently and with this amount of certainty. This is coming in. Knights are messengers. So you're getting this influx trying to come in here in your clarifying row to lead you to an outcome where you're thinking about things in a different way. You see the King of Swords here on the bottom of this deck. So it's like you want to be harnessing that earthy energy of the Queen of Pentacles that will ground you enough so that you can start to focus on where you do feel satisfaction, pleasure, happiness, joy, inspiration, confidence, faith in yourself. And you're going to just surrender. You're not going to stay tied to outcomes that don't give you those feelings anymore. You're going to shift your perspective like this King of Swords does, to be more in alignment with what you want than with what you don't want. And you're going to see that that will create a momentum. As long as you can stay in that vibration of sort of trusting yourself and surrendering to the process that will sort of amplify that momentum around what you do align with what you do feel satisfied with, where you do feel your desires, where you can visualize what it would feel like, and you can embody that feeling now. That will all create this momentum. But it starts here, actually. It starts with sort of shifting that perspective and grounding yourself in a more healing space where you surrender these fears, doubts, disbeliefs, where you break the chains and you do take a chance, because you know that the universe is always conspiring to support you no matter what it is that you're holding. And that's sort of the point of this reading, that if you're right now a vibrational match for everything that you fear, the universe will conspire to support that too. And so you have to shift first. The shift starts with you, and then you start to see it. Then it starts to manifest into matter. And that is very, very, it's a very clear message coming through for you here, that you are at odds with your own higher self right now. Your higher self is trying to guide you, and you're resistant to it because of a level of disbelief and a level of fear and a level of sort of like, I'm not taking a chance, that'll never work. And it's these kind of statements and narratives that you need to shift. That is where you're going to notice at first here, Gemini, that things will start to shift. And then the emotional intensity shifts. And then the visualizations shift. And then what happens around you starts to shift. And then there's this momentum of that energy continuing to shift towards it. But you've got to hold fast here. You've got all the tools to do it. Let's pull an oracle card for your final guidance. Excuse me. For Gemini to close this reading. Clearing negativity is coming through the smoky quartz card. It says here, release negativity from within and around you, which really sums up what I've been saying in this reading. One more card for Gemini before we gaze at the bottom of the deck. One more card, thank you. Sensitive emotions. Yes, times of heightened emotions and sensitivity call for extra self-care and gentleness. You really need to be gentle with yourself as you go through this process, Gemini. Wellness, the recovery of health and wellness is here. And I feel it. You've gone through something here, Gemini, perhaps a series of experiences that have left you feeling a lot of doubt, disbelief, fear. Your emotions are very sensitive right now, and you are focused more on a negative outcome than a positive one. So you're being guided to sort of clear that negativity, ground yourself into your desires, and then shift your focus into the positive, into what you do want, not what you don't want. Keep your focus on what you're embodying, where your desires and satisfactions are. That will become a reality. You just have to stay focused. Now, these sensitive emotions, being gentle with yourself here is very important, and sort of recovering, allowing that time for you to recover and to feel grounded again. What a very interesting reading for you. I'm going to leave it there, Gemini. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this has been helpful. If it's resonated for you, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting. If you would like a personal reading, you can find the link for that in the description below. As always, I'm sending you so much love and light, and I look forward to reading for you again soon, my friends. Take care.